Aquí estamos en TexAgs Rewind, presentado por T-Mobile. They say visit T-Mobile.com/CrossAmerica to learn how you get more value and coverage through T-Mobile. So on the show today, look, I'm asking you guys a question. Like, what 10 wins is the bare minimum, right? Like, that's what we expect every year moving forward. Anything below that is a disappointment, right? Comment below if you agree with me right there. We spent the go hour talking about that because a lot of publications out there saying 8.5 wins for the Aggies and whatever. They have their reasons. But in my opinion, this team has graduated to a 10-win or bust kind of feel. And 10 wins is the bare minimum moving forward. So we talked about that during the go hour. Comment below. We did around Aggieland with Kay Nagley. She did great. Awesome job there. Andrew Monaco came by to talk about life after the College World Series. Really appreciate Mr. Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, giving his thoughts. We talked some football with him as well. And then just bury my lead here. Jim Schlossnagle came in studio with Billy Lucci. We talked about the amazing season that it was for Aggie baseball, and Billy and I then ended the show with a little recruiting talk and the future of Aggie football. All that and more here on TexAgs Rewind. Anything below 10 wins would be a disappointment, and I think we've established that. It's been something we've said for a long time. It's not like this is breaking news, but we're at the time of year where publications have their predictions about A&M, and even though A&M is ranked highly, publications are coming up with reasons why or why not. For months, we've told you that they'll be favored in every game that they're playing in, except for the Alabama game as things stand right now. But there are people out there, more than one, that are predicting 8 wins or 8.5 as the total for the Aggies. And I'm going to read you one that actually makes a lot of sense to me. It's a fair assessment that I disagree with.
All right.
Okay, I think it's fair. You tell me if I'm wrong here. This is from College Football News, Pete Futek, who I have a lot of respect for. I think he does a nice job. And I'll just read you a little blurb. He talks about initially there won't be a close call against Colorado this year. If there is a close call like that one, then maybe App State and Miami will be tough. But he says, here's the issue. A&M got Missouri and South Carolina last year from the East, winning those two games by a combined score of 99-28. This year, it has to go to South Carolina and gets an improved Florida. The stretch of Miami, Arkansas, in Arlington, Mississippi State, at Alabama, at South Carolina with Ole Miss, Florida, and Auburn is unfair. That doesn't include the date with LSU to end the regular season. Give it one more year. The 2023 team should be the all-fab freshmen from this year and ready to rise up to be amazing. But even so, talent is there for the push for 10 wins, even if the schedule doesn't help. So I get where he's going from. I can understand from an outsider's point of view looking at that schedule and being like, man, I could see why you would lose those games. But I also think A&M has grown up. They are what Georgia was a couple of years ago. They've got the talent. They've waited the 5 years with Jimbo. Now's the time for those games that used to be like, oh, it could be tough. They're just going to win them.
Yeah, I think so. I understand that South Carolina projects to be improved. Okay. I don't understand why Florida projects to be improved. I mean, why is that?
They got a new coach. Takes time. I don't know either.
Texas had a new coach last year.
They weren't that much better.
But Kansas was.
Kansas was the reason they had a bad year.
But here's the deal, and I've been saying this, and I don't care anymore how good or bad the opponent is.
Yeah.
A&M is good enough now to beat anybody. You don't have to look for a flaw. Now you can just, I mean, if they're there, great. But now you can just say, you know what? We've got better players. We've got better coaches. So let's go.
Let's go.
That's where it is. And I actually kind of like people saying 8 wins because historically A&M does better when they're doubted.
Even though all seasons are over, a lot of current, former, future, and professional Aggie track athletes are having some success right now, taking home some medals at the USA TF and U20 championships. So on Friday, Tokyo Olympic 100-meter silver medalist and former A&M 400-meter national champion Fred Curley won the USA Track and Field 100-meter championship. He ran a 9.77, wind-aided 1.8 meters a second, so it was a legal run. It was the 6th fastest in world history and 3rd fastest American all time.
Curly! Amazing, right?
Right, I know. A lot of Aggies having some success. Aggie signee Landon Helms claimed the USA Track and Field U20 decathlon title with 6,425 points, winning gold. He ran a 14:40 in the 110-meter hurdles, a full second faster than his closest competitor, cleared a 4.35 meters in pole vault, and he will be in Aggieland in the fall, and he's graduating in 2026. So
All right, a lot more time there.
He is set to do some good things in Aggieland. On Saturday, Nike athlete and two-time Tokyo Olympic gold medalist Athing Mu took home gold in the 800-meter race with a time of 1:57.16. She secured her spot representing Team USA in the World Athletics, and she's just 20 years old. I mean, she is killing it for how old she is. Along with Brandon Miller, he took home bronze in the 800-meter final, and in the semifinals on Friday, he was about to get caught and just dove through the finish line like a real champion. It's a great video if you get the chance to check it out. So
he's awesome. He's such a cool kid too. I really enjoy talking to him.
Yes, indeed. And Curly placed third in the 200-meter, so he is qualified for Team USA in the 100 and the 200, along with a couple of other Aggies that did some good things. Former Aggie Natasha Rogers placed fifth in the women's 500-meter. Current Aggie Heather Abadi is the Canadian U20 pole vault champion. All-American Ashton Schwartzman finished runner-up in the 400-meter at the U20 championships. And Aggie professionals Jacob Wooten in pole vault and Shamir Little in the 400 meters hurdles placed top three in their respective events. Up next is the World Athletics Championships, where Curly, Miller, and Mu will compete in Eugene, Oregon on July 15th and through the 24th.
You know, that's the beauty of what we're doing, is that there's still a lot of Aggies doing sports at the moment.
Yeah,
you're talking a lot of track and field. There's still a bunch of Aggies playing, obviously, in the big leagues. Anything else?
Yes, baseball. I don't think Aggie baseball fans are sick of talking about it just yet. Congrats to Ole Miss, but we got to talk about the mayor of Oxford for a second.
Right.
So D1 baseball announced on Friday that A&M relief pitcher Jacob Palish and outfielder Dylan Rock earned All-America second-team recognition. Palish finished the season with a 6.3 record with 5 saves, a 2.39 ERA, a 230 opponent batting average, punching 73 strikeouts in 60.1 innings. Rock finished the year 4.68 on-base percentage, 6.41 slugging percentage, 67 runs, 67 RBIs, 19 home runs, which rank him 4th on Texas A&M's single-season list.
Was this, I don't want to say the best year of Aggie sports since you've been here, but
you can say that.
Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah. It's funny because there was so much success for all three sports, and all three ended in disappointment, which is weird when you take that deep. Everybody wants to be at the very end. Now, we didn't get a bowl game in football, right? But the highs of that football season, incredible. And the momentum of that for next season, but the momentum of that for the other seasons. And then to have buzz in that team, which you think is a negative, turned into an absolute positive, and then they're playing the very last game that they can possibly play, game number 40. Every other sport, unless you're really bad, your season, you don't know when it's going to end in a tournament. You just don't. That's one where you absolutely knew that game against Xavier was the last game they could play. Then in baseball, awesome run through the SEC tournament and then through the regional and the super regionals. Yes, it's disappointing because you're not the last team. There's no dog pile for you there. But then you look back, oh man, this was phenomenal. They were all phenomenal seasons. And I think there's another level for each of them. I'm so excited about what's next for all three of those sports.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So what was Omaha like for you, seeing it, watching the reaction, just being a part of that?
You know, Schloss said that this is the pearly gates, right? To be there, I think you have to take a moment, player, broadcaster, fan, to kind of soak it all in. It's so much fun, especially the parade at the very beginning and all the teams, and everybody has hope then, right? We're going to win. They have that. And it's convivial. And then that first pitch, you're forgetting that you're in such a fantastic place for, if you were a baseball fan and you weren't affiliated with any team, that would be the place to go. I think that would be a blast. 2 games every day and all that. So you take it in and you walk around and you do that, and then you're playing. It's then there's, the dream is still there. If we could be national champions. So you take full advantage of the atmosphere, what Omaha provides for all of this, but also with the knowing in the back of your mind, you have a chance to be a national champion. You have a chance to have such a special season. You'll always be linked with this moment. And I think the Aggies did that. Like, I loved the stories, David, of all the players who had gone there as either teens, as a fan, and now they're on the field. So they were there watching the College World Series, and they were the ones getting the autographs from the seats. And I was asking Alex Majors and Trevor Werner and Ryan Tarkach, where were you sitting when you came here?
Right.
And now you guys are on the field, and they're now all watching you. And I think to watch them give those autographs, to see them around the crowds and be so good, and then also kind of soak it in their new position, if you will, to me, that's something that's always going to stick with me.
How fulfilling was this season, considering the fact new operation, new guys coming in, everything? I know you wanted to still be playing. We all did. And we thought it was going to happen until it was over. But this new challenge in the SEC, everything considering your move here, how fulfilling was it?
It's very fulfilling. I just, you just don't. With college, with our calendar of recruiting and whether it be the transfer portal or just getting immediately back into recruiting, literally as soon as you land. I mean, within 5 minutes of the last out, Nolan Kane was on his phone arranging flights for some official visits that we've had over the course of the last couple of days, because it sounds crazy, but being in Omaha kind of sets you behind a little bit. And you would think that players would wait, you got guys calling you saying, hey, I'm going to go visit this school and that school. I'm thinking about making a decision. Like, we're in the World Series. They're not in the World Series.
How about us?
Just sit tight, buddy. But yeah. So I haven't really, there's no vacation. It's just right back into it. But I think there are times where you sit up there and say, holy cow, look at what look at what these kids did, and the manner in which we did it. I told somebody the other day, I think we were the most imperfect, perfect team, right? We were imperfect in that it wasn't a pitching and defensive team. There were times you watch us and you're like, pull your hair out. And then by the end of the game, we had one more run than the other team. And the chemistry and all those things that you hear about were very real, or are very real. And that's the challenge moving forward is the recruits are going to come and go, the player, but it's the culture and that synergy that we have to really work hard to maintain.
At what point, if there was one, in this season, did you guys maybe in conversations as a staff or just you driving home from the stadium, just take a step back and go, guys, we can actually be pretty damn good this year, despite all we are the imperfect, perfect team, but we have a chance to do something pretty special. Was there a point this year where they started playing and you felt that?
I mean, I'd probably say the Arkansas series would be a big one. Looking at what Palish did, you could pick a lot of MVPs off this team, but if you removed one guy and that changed your whole team, it's either him or Claunch probably. But yeah, I would say that Sunday against Arkansas, that's at least the first thing that comes to mind. The Ole Miss weekend, I felt like the only challenge was if we got in a loser's bracket, right? Yeah. So if you think about it, we went to the conference tournament, we went 2-1. If we would have had to play a fourth game, who would have pitched it? You go to the regional, we go 3-0. If we'd have had to play a fourth or fifth game, who would have pitched it? Could we have swung our way to it? Possibly. Could we have had an unsung hero come through we were getting ready to find out in Omaha if we'd have won one more game. But yeah, I would say the Arkansas series. I think, guys, Arkansas to me, it was the bar on our side of the SEC, and that was pretty impressive.
Hazme el favor, comment below. Tell me what you thought about this video, what you thought about the topic we had. It's 10 wins or bust, right? Let me know about you. Also, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and their friends, and we'll start this little train of friends, right? Just tell everybody everything. You got me? All right, it is TexAgs Rewind. We will see you guys tomorrow with on the show. It looks like R.C. Slocum going to be on it, and James Palmer of the NFL Network. Should be a good one. TexAgs Radio and TexAgs Rewind out.